Okay, we're back. Me and Pip are back here to do another review, and this one's been out for a little while, but I just got it in the mail this morning, as evidenced by this ripped open package. It is the classic fantasy film from Ralph Bakshi, creator of the original Lord of the Rings animated film. His superior, Fire and Ice. It's quite a nice package, as you can see. It's got this sort of metallic pressed in cover. You can kind of see the light shining off it, with the original Frank Frazetta artwork on the front. And this is a nice slip, which is always cool. It's got the same artwork on the original disc, but it looks much nicer in this kind of embossed slip cover. I'll just go over what it says on the back here. It began as a once-in-a-lifetime collaboration between two of the greatest icons of the fantasy genre. Controversial animator Ralph Bakshi, director of Fritz the Cat, Wizards and the original Lord of the Rings, and legendary illustrator Frank Frazetta, creator of the iconic Conan the Barbarian, Vampirella and Edgar Rice Burroughs book covers. It became and remains one of the most startling animation epics of all time. Now experience a world unlike any ever seen, where savage warriors, horrific monsters, luscious maidens battle for the soul of civilization. It's a time of good and evil, pleasure and pain, and fire and ice. That pretty much sums it up well. This has been restored, remastered in high definition, and we have quite a few listening options. It's remixed in a 7.1 DTS HD, also a 7.1 Dolby True HD, and you can listen to it in English 5.1 Dolby Digital Surround. I'll get more into that in a little bit. Now it has some good extras, which I have dipped into this morning. It has an audio commentary with producer and director Ralph Bakshi, which is moderated by somebody asking him questions, and it's quite interesting. Interesting to see what he says about rotoscoping. And then there's a vintage featurette called The Making of Fire and Ice, from back in the day when this was made, which was 1983. And then a new interview with Ralph Bakshi on his working with Frank Frazetta, which is really good. And then another feature which isn't so much good as it is kind of funny and interesting is a sort of a new put together, almost not really an interview, but with Sean Hannon, who did the visual take of the villain in the film, which they use for the rotoscoping, and his diary notes on working with the film, which he voices over with still pictures, and then a behind the scenes photo gallery, which you can just play as like a featurette with text, pop-up text, sort of talking about the photos, and of course the theatrical trailer. It is region free, so you can buy this. There's a few countries that sell this, but it's still not widely available, so you can pick it up on Amazon or Deep Discount. I picked this up on deepdiscount.com, but you can pick it up pretty much anywhere of those big online traders. Have a little look inside, and then I'll talk about how it looks. Same cover again, as I said. Here's the back. Some cool artwork on the disc, and we've got some cool artwork there, and the chapters listed there. A really nice presented package from Blue Underground. The film itself, as I said, is a top-notch fantasy, really good pacing, beautiful artwork, really nicely rotoscoped, real good movement of the characters. It's not the longest movie, it's 81 minutes, but it's jam-packed, gets the story out there, good characters, great artwork, a lot of fun, a real rousing old-school fantasy score, and you know, it's not to be missed. If you saw my top 10 fantasy films video I made a couple of weeks back, you'll see this was there in the top 5 somewhere. So one not to be missed. So you haven't seen it, check it out. Now, the quality of the remastering is really good. I haven't seen the animated Lord of the Rings Blu-ray, but I heard some bad things. I still intend on picking it up if I can find it cheap, but this here you will not hear bad things about. It looks really good. It's really clean. Everything pops really nicely. Considering the age of this film and how it's not really the biggest film out there, they must have found a really good print, done a nice little bit of work on restoring and remastering, and it looks about as good as you're going to get, I think. You should be really happy with this. Certainly looks better than the full-frame, taped-off TV VHS I watched for many years as a child. The sound, I went through all the options. Now I have 5.1 analog port surround sound, so it's not necessarily the best for all of these options, but coming through that system I actually found the 7.1 DTS HD sounded the best, sounded the fullest, which the 7.1s can sometimes feel like you're missing something because you don't have a couple of the speakers and not everything seems to be coming through on certain 7.1 mixes, but I found it had a lot more punch than when I played the standard English 5.1 Dolby Digital surround, and a lot more rare speaker action. So I would recommend, and it automatically comes on with the 7.1, so it sounds really good, and I think you'll be happy with that. As I said, the extras are pretty strong for this kind of film. Looks good, sounds good, nice packaging, strong film. It is a little bit pricier. I did find it slightly cheaper at deep discount at the time, but the prices go up and down from week to week. If you want to take a risk on it, perhaps just put it in your cart in one of those sites and try and just check up on it from time to time and see when it's gone down a couple of dollars, and maybe pick it up. This isn't World recommended.